Welcome back guys, Slybacon here. Today we're going to be taking a look at 5 Guardians of David, which was released by Kingdom Games in November 2015. It is an action RPG, better known of course as the hack and slash genre. Now, who am I and why can I talk about the hack and slash genre? If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, at one stage there was close to, I'm guessing, 250 Diablo 3 videos on my channel, so I have covered Diablo 3 extensively from early beta right up until season 5 I think it was the last season I actually played. So just recently I've actually stopped playing Diablo 3. So, and of course before that there was a lot of Diablo 2, that was years and years of play Diablo 2, so I know a wee bit about the genre. Okay, so with that out of the way, this game has been slammed pretty much. We've got a 66 score on Metacritic, mixed reviews on Steam. Is it justified? I actually don't think so. The issue that a lot of people have with this game is that, you might have guessed based on the name, Guardians of David, it is an action RPG based on the Bible. Now, for a lot of people that could cause a few issues. Obviously the Bible, some people believe in it, some people don't. I'm in the camp that doesn't believe in it, okay? So with that in mind, can I enjoy a game that is based on something that I don't necessarily believe in? And then it kind of got me thinking, like, do I believe in Diablo and Diablo 3? No, it's made up, right? It's all just made up. So to me, the Bible is the same sort of thing. So why would that be an issue when, like, Diablo 3 religion or law, or whatever you want to call it, no Nephilim, it's all based on law, isn't an issue for me? And I hate to say it, but it kind of is an issue, and I don't know why. I don't have any justification for it being an issue. It just is. Okay. So let's try and ignore that side of things, and I know that's a major thing. I have to say, the game does not force the religious side of it down your throat. There is instances and parts in the game where it says, you know, this is what happened. Click here if you want to see the Bible verse that relates to this. Obviously I don't, because I don't want to read that, so I just click through it. It doesn't take away from the gameplay at all. It's just a nice added bonus if you're into that side of things as well. So there's the other side to it too, where a lot of people don't even care about the story in the game. They just care about the gameplay. And, you know, is the gameplay enjoyable? Who really cares about the story? How many people have played through Diablo 3? Let's take that as an example. How many people have played through it and can recite what actually happens in the story? How many people don't even know what happened in the story, you know? But they love the gameplay, so they continue playing it. This I'm trying to approach with the same vein, and frankly it's working. The gameplay more than makes up for the story, which I'm not interested in. So let's just focus on the gameplay. Just know that the story is there, it is based on the Bible. If that is a major issue for you, if you can't get over that, you're not going to enjoy this game. There's nothing that's going to change your mind on that. If you're more interested in, you know, does it play well, then stick around and we will look at that side of things. Right, so let's dive right in and have a look at the gameplay. So Kingdom Games, which is the developer and publisher of this, as far as I can tell, this is their only game. So just a wee small indie company, and doesn't really show. So as I've been yammering on for the last couple of minutes, you would have noticed in the background some gameplay with a lot of animations and stuff. I think it looks really smooth. It plays well, plays very well. Now you might also notice that there's a party on the screen. That this is all me. I have the option in this game to play any one of those 5 characters that I want at any time. Even mid-combat I could switch character, which is actually a really nice change. So a lot of the comments I've been seeing is there's not enough depth in this game, which I don't actually believe that's an issue, because there is 5 different characters with all their skills and stuff that you can level up individually. Every time you level, the whole group levels, right? And then you get skill points that you can put into skills, up to a maximum of 5 skill points in each skill. So that's a lot of different variations that you can come up with just within that alone. I'm only up to like level 7, and that's only unlocked like the bottom level. And obviously I haven't maxed out everything. I think I've maxed out like 1 point on each. But think about the different setups you can make within that 5 group composition. And there's not a healer as such, but there's definitely a tank, there's definitely damage dealers, and there's obviously ranged damage dealers as well. So you can set up your team, and you've got to think of it as a team, not an individual. You can set up your team the way you want to, and you can allocate your skill points whatever way you want to, whatever way you feel is best, and you can focus on different things. Now, I have to say, the issue, and I kind of thought this was going to be an issue when I first read that, you can play up to 5 different characters at any one time, or you have 5 different characters at your disposal at any one time, is that you kind of tend to focus on one. For me, initially, it was like, well, I'm going to focus on the barbarian, because that's the style of play that I like. But as I've played in a wee bit, I'm probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours into the game. So as I've played on a wee bit, I kind of enjoy the spear user the most, actually. So he's kind of the one that I use the most within the game itself. So the other 4 do their thing. I'm just there killing stuff with my spear. Awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. But that does bring us to an issue. Issue being that the inventory is shared, and it's not a big inventory. And when a loot drops, it's not class specific, as in anything can drop at any time, obviously, because there's 5 different characters. Obviously, we're going to need access to a lot of different stuff. So that drops, and so say a chest piece drops. No, it's not an upgrade for character 1. No, it's not an upgrade for character 2. No, it's not an upgrade for character 3. Yes, it's an upgrade for character 4, but what about character 5? How much of an upgrade is it compared to character 5? Yeah, it's an upgrade for character 5 as well. Well, it's 10% better than what it would be on character 4, so I'm going to give it to character 5. Right? Do you see the issue? The only thing that I can tell so far is weapons are class specific. So spears belong to the spear user, obviously. Two-handed weapons belong to the two-handed user. Bows belong to the bow user, etc. But everything else seems to be shared amongst anybody. So equipping your guys can take a wee while, which may be a problem for some people, may not be a problem for other people. For me, it kind of detracts from the gameplay a wee bit, because you spend a lot of time in the inventory screen just dealing with that and equipping things in here. And when you're kind of used to Diablo, and I'm going to compare it to Diablo because they've compared to Diablo in a lot of their stuff. When you compare to Diablo, mouse over, this gives you 200 more damage, whatever. 200% more damage, whatever. It tells you straight away, you know exactly how much. Obviously, this is going to be an issue when there's 5 different characters, but can there be a split screen of 5 different things? For character A, it's 5%. For character B, it's minus 10%. For character C, it's minus 20%. For character where are we up to? A, B, C, D, it's plus 50%, whatever. It needs to be simplified. It's quite hard to get your head around and stuff. Right, now moving on. So the game's been out since, like I said earlier, November 2015. It's about 5 months-ish now, almost 6 months. And I managed to break it within the first hour. So there we go. So what I did was fighting the second boss, I believe it was, which is near the end of Act 2. Yep, at the end of Act 2. I died a couple of times in the process of running back, which isn't an issue, by the way. The boss fights, when you're fighting a boss, the boss fights are actually really hard, which is, it's nice. It's just a nice challenge. Don't mind the challenge at all. But then they're let down by the fact that you run back, from your waypoint, which is pretty close to where the boss is. Run back, and the boss remains on whatever health he was when you left him. So you can basically corpse rush him down. I mean, what's the point of making a boss that's hard that you could just corpse rush down? I like the fact that the bosses are hard. That makes a lot of sense. I like the challenge. Don't have the boss remain at 50% health when you die. He gets 100% health back. Or even, if you think that's too hard, well then maybe you need to adjust your boss's damage and life and stuff. You need to do a bit of balancing there if you think that's too hard. Or if you really don't want to do that, boss gains 10% health every time you die. Something like that, right? So what I did was died a couple of times, as I tend to do on the bosses. Running back. I think on the third time running back, I got stuck behind the barrier that keeps your other 4 guys out. By the way, you can only fight the boss one-on-one. And it doesn't really give you notification on who or what... on who you can actually use in the fight. Just seems to be whoever you're using at the time, that's the person that goes into the fight. Which... if you know the boss fight's coming out, that's fine. You can switch to whatever character you like. But the second time I fought a boss, I didn't know that was the case. I don't know if that character was supposed to fight the boss, but it was the one I was using at the time. I would have rather used one of my other characters for this particular boss. But anyway. So yeah, I was running back, stuck behind the barrier that keeps all your other characters out. I could still attack the boss. He couldn't attack me, but I could still attack him. Broken. The game's been out 6 months. I broke it within less than an hour.
I can't do that.
Right, so let's look at value. At the moment, the game is actually on special for $11. $11 is a good price. You cannot complain about $11, right? You're going to get a good amount of gameplay out of this. For some reason, they said there's about 20 hours worth of gameplay before you hit endgame, which is a decent amount. You know, it's a fair bit of story and stuff. Obviously, based on the Bible, there's a lot for them to work with. So 20 hours, normal gameplay, then hit endgame. I'm not sure what the endgame is. I haven't obviously got there myself. I'm assuming if it's like any other hack and slash, it's grinding for gear. So for $11, yeah, that's fine. With that said, do I recommend the game? Unfortunately, no. Gameplay's good, no arguments there. Skill system's fine. Inventory's a bit of a pain in the butt, but that's fine. Still a few bugs 6 months after release. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with those and not game-breaking bugs. The setting it's just not for me, right? You might have a different opinion, but for some reason I just can't get over the setting. Even though the game's not, I constantly feel like you're preaching your religion to me, and people, myself included, have an issue when people preach their own religion to you. Unfortunately, you can't escape that within this game. You can ignore it to some degree, but it's always there. You're always thinking about it, and the fact that pretty much every battle and stuff is from the Bible, and if you know anything about the Bible, of course, it's referring back to that. So can I recommend it? No. And honestly, I contemplated not even making this video because can I say don't buy this game because it is based on religion? Because that sounds terrible when I say it out loud, right? Like I said, the gameplay's good, the setting's horrible. Make up your own mind. But if you're like me, spend your money somewhere else. Alright guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.